You're live. You're on.
Okay, so we'll call the meeting to order at 10:01 a.m. And the first order of business is to declare any conflicts of interest. Do any of the board members have conflicts of interest they would like to declare at this time? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on. And then Craig, would you introduce our guests?
Yeah, we have two guests from Arvos Lundstrom here to discuss their expansion project, and I'll let them introduce themselves because I can't remember their titles, Greg.
Sure. I'm Greg Moscato, Vice President and Chief Human Resource Officer.
Jeff Yalom, Director of Manufacturing Technology.
And we just did a visit through their shops yesterday with Gail Manchin from Appalachian Regional Commission. Went very, very well. And they're exciting. It's an exciting project, and you should hear what they're doing and how they're changing their whole business model. And that's how we're helping them with the pilot. Greg?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Okay. So first of all, we're excited to be here. Thank you to have us. We're on a complete change of, we're still doing our original product, which is our air preheater. However, for the last 2 years, we have planned and ventured into renewable wind, and we will be participating with contracts along the eastern coast of the United States, where they'll be putting up to 2,000 windmills out in the ocean that will be 15 miles out towards the continental shelf. So our piece of that is the structures that hold the windmills, and Jeff can talk a little bit about that in a moment. We also are getting into CO2 capture, another green product to help preserve the environment. So those are resulting in us hiring approximately 60 people this year between the months of April or May until October. And then we anticipate hiring another 60 people next year. Could be upwards of another 100, but that's the plan at the current time. I'll turn over to Jeff Yalom to talk a little bit more about the expansion and what's going into the facilities.
Yeah, so we're converting all the coal factory floor space that was dedicated to coal power plants, coal-fired heat exchangers and grinders, coal mills, to essentially offshore wind. And at this point, the CO2 is somewhat of an R&D. We've done 2 pilot projects, one in Saskatchewan, Canada. Another one was just shipped to California in Bakersfield. Is installed. The wind, we expect to start actually making parts here in July, as far as our prototypes and test pieces, with our deliveries in December. 1,000 square feet of offshore wind manufacturing. The goal is to make anything for the offshore wind market that can actually be. Obviously, we can't make the monopiles and the larger structures just due to shipping restrictions. But we've worked with the wind developers to break apart some of the parts so that we can ship them. And it gives us, which one of them is at the port. We'll do the major assembly and reassemble our parts. And then there's us, and there's another manufacturer in Maryland. At this time, we will be the first company to make anything for offshore wind in the United States. So we'll be the first people to ever produce parts for this. As Greg mentioned, it's been a 2-year ongoing project to get qualified certifications. They have numerous different types of certifications and quality requirements, which we've all had to comply to and adapt for our products and our processes. So
we're also hoping this is the foundation that we're setting, hopefully for the next 20 years to get into this new industry. And there are many more states that will be building these products. We've got the first 2, which is in Rhode Island, and anticipate coming up on the New York contract as well. And so there's many, many more. And so we're really excited about this.
And you've mentioned a couple times the investment you're making. I know Jeff's doing most of that, but it's a pretty major investment you're putting into that building.
Yes.
At this point, we have a $10 million investment going on. It's a phased project. It's roughly 3 phases at this point. And we're well into the first one. Second one is in the scope generation, specifications, and contractor selection phase. So it's kind of early on.
So you don't find a lot of companies in the region that are investing that kind of money into a facility.
No.
Actually, they're also doing shipping offshore up in the Great Lakes as well, I think. They're putting in some offshore windows there.
Yeah, they are, because I know Union Concrete has a group up there. They're doing some offshore windows. I don't know if you've contacted them. I think I turned you on to Gary Hill, but
Yeah, well,
it's not as deep as what's going on at the ocean, but it's still offshore.
Right. It's interesting and amazing, encouraging. I mean, my question is, how did you, I mean, it takes a lot of investment and you took a lot of risk just putting money into being a player and possibly having a chance to do this. How did that all come about?
I believe in the beginning, we've been in business for 99 years now, and we've had 90% of the world market in air preheaters. So 10 years plus ago, 40% of our power was generated by coal burning power plants. We also supply air preheaters for gas to gas power plants. But as the war on coal has developed, it's down to about 19% is providing electricity and so forth, power out of coal. So we realized this trend was coming. We didn't expect it to be as fast as it's coming. So we truly focused. Our biggest capacity is what we do with steel. We're a fabrication shop that can take a sheet of 10 by 20 foot steel and we can bend it, we can cut it up to 6 inches thick, we can weld it, machine it, whatever we need to do. And then we can lift it because we've got heavy lifting capabilities as well. So based on those skill sets, and we've got great workers, a very skilled workforce, we need to retrain them on some of the welding. Jeff talked a little bit about ISO. We're obviously ISO 9001 certified. We're 14001 environmentally certified. And the new certification is with the European certification called 3834. And that is a whole new certification level. It took that long, about a year, to get that certification. So we created a department called Custom Manufacturing Solutions, and they started going out, reaching out to different industries and customers and developing a diverse product line. So we're pleased with that, and we have a great group of people in that, and they continue to go out to find new products that we can do that are around the whole United States, therefore putting work here in Allegheny County. And that's the best part of this. It's not just dependent on New York State, it's branching out throughout the United States.
And I know the town of Wellsville supports this, and I'm sure the county does, and our IDA board obviously does. What kind of support are you seeing from New York State or federal government, anything like that?
We did receive a grant from Empire State Development, and that is a $2.5 million grant over the course of 10 years. And that's based on hiring people and also based on the CapEx that we're putting in. It's a twofold program. We also just received a $628,000 plus grant that is from the Appalachian Regional Commission called a WORC, W-O-R-C grant. So we received that, which is going to be helping us as well. As you can imagine, in the beginning, when you're trying to branch into a whole new industry, you're investing a lot, not only in the facility, but also in the people. There's a whole new training program we have to do, different types of welding and so forth. So this investment hopefully is for the next 20 years plus.
It's great news. Yeah, it's great.
Any other questions of Greg or Jeff? I mean, I think it's an exciting project.
Really is.
It's, I think it's something that